The world is constantly growing, and so are amusement parks. With more and more rides and attractions being added, the crowds grow. Growing crowds make for longer lines, some stretching up to over 4 hours at just local parks. Resort lines can produce even longer, near 10 hours for parks like Universal when rides first open. Guests want to have fun at parks, but waiting in line forever will drain your day. This is how you can skip lines at amusement parks. Before we get into the central part of the video, let me get the obvious out of the way. If you are willing to splurge on a fast lane, flash pass, quick queue, or whatever the park has, do it. It'll make for by far the shortest waits in the park. But these prices can be through the roof. Parks like Cedar Point can have fast lane prices above $200 on some days. So let's get into some ways to skip lines for free. My first tips take place outside of the park. Make sure to plan your park day weeks in advance. Do not visit on a weekend. The busiest days of the week for parks are always Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I would recommend visiting on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, as these are the least busiest days. Also, if you can, pick a day with about 30% chance of rain. These days usually scare some crowds away. The best days are when there is about an hour of rainstorm that will scare people away, killing the lines. Make sure to check the radar and calendar before you visit the park. Something I do a ton is looking at a park map and planning what I want to ride and how I plan on getting there. Planning is everything. I always look at a map and make an optimal layout. I did this at Darien Lake, where we started with Tantrum in the morning and literally walked on Tantrum. This is also the same with Mind Eraser, which we walked on as well. Now, we filmed for a while there, so we missed the shorter waits, but we still waited only a maximum of 20 minutes in the queue. The last pre-park tip is to check queue times. Queue times is a website we use that has most parks and all of the coasters in those parks. They give relatively accurate wait times that you can use to see what days are the busiest. They also have a crowd calendar where you can see how busy the park is anticipated to be. This is very useful when planning. This one may seem obvious, but a lot of people don't do this correctly. When I say arrive early, I don't mean 5 minutes before the park opens. I mean get to the parking lot 45 minutes before the park actually opens, so you can be the first or one of the first in the entry line. The quicker you're in the park, the quicker you can skip these lines. If you watch other channels, you may hear people say, do not go to the back first, or skip the best ride in the park because the line will never be short. These people are very wrong. The shortest line for the most popular ride in the park will be right as the park opens. Do not hesitate in going straight to that most popular ride. The most popular is usually the biggest or newest coaster. You can check queue times before if you are unsure. Just a few examples: Hershey Park's is Candemonium, Cedar Point's is Steel Vengeance. You get the idea. Go straight to that ride. If you are one of the first in the park, then you will be one of the first at that coaster. After you ride that coaster, go straight to the second most popular. Because most people go straight to the most popular, the second most popular will have less of a wait. Go straight thereafter to get on that coaster quickly. Some examples where we use this: we got straight on Steel Vengeance and Orion every time we go to Kings Island and Cedar Point because we head straight to those rides. We also got straight on Ravine Flyer 2 in the morning because we headed there as soon as the ride actually opened. This was also the case with Batman the Ride at Six Flags St. Louis and Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. You may now be thinking, go to the third most popular. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Now that more people are flooded in, that third ride will be slammed, so ride the less popular coasters and save that ride for last. There aren't a lot of ways to skip the less popular rides, but getting the 2 busiest rides of the day in the morning has saved you probably around 2 hours. Because you hit the 2 most popular rides already, head to the middle back of the park so you can skip even more waits. Wait to do the rides in the front until later, because when those people spread to the back, these rides will die down. Also, most rides have queue time markers outside the queue that says the estimated time. Whatever you do, do not listen to these signs. Almost always, these signs overshoot the estimated wait by about 20 minutes, especially for Cedar Fair parks. If the sign says 40 minutes, it'll probably be at about 25. Just take that into account at parks. Something that does kill crowds for an hour or so is lunch and dinner. Usually lines die down from about noon to 1 and 5 to 6. This is because people are eating food. I recommend eating around 11 before the lines get long at restaurants where you have more time to ride when lines are short. Or you can eat lunch later at 3 or 4, that way you can have a late lunch and get dinner while you're leaving the park. Or you can eat an early dinner at around 4 to skip dinner lines. Another way to limit your wait times is to not have any loose articles. Don't worry about buying a locker. If you have a zip-up, Velcro, or button pockets, which I highly recommend having if you visit a park, you don't need to worry about loose articles, and lockers become pointless. Believe it or not, this will save you a lot of times at parks. Believe it or not, you want to go to a ride that's broken down. If you see a ride testing or near opening back up, rush to that coaster. The line will have died down because no one wants to take a chance waiting for a broken coaster. You can either wait until the ride tests, or if you know what the issue is, you can make an educated guess about the downtime. For example, if it's just transferring a train off, the general public will leave thinking it's a breakdown, but coaster enthusiasts know that it'll only take about 15 minutes. If the ride is down for a short amount of time, you should stay or wait outside the queue because chances are that most guests will leave the queue, limiting your wait time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment if you've learned something new, and have a great rest of your day.